What's going on, everybody? We are live for UFC 249. It's been so goddamn long, and I am happy to be back enjoying the fights with you, my fellow fans. Yes, we are here for UFC 249. Tony Ferguson versus Justin Geikie. Bear with me here while I get you guys the links that I know you want. This beautiful mug right here brings you here. The links keep bringing you back. You're back. You understand what I'm saying? Mystic, what is going on? Happy to be here, my man. And thank you, as always, for being here with me. Has it not been a wild night of fights thus far? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Non-stop fireworks. Unless you count the Carla Esparza, Michelle Waterson stinker. But beyond that, let me not be, bougie tonight. Let me be appreciative to all these fighters for being out here and stepping into the octagon, putting themselves on the front line, so to speak, of the international pandemic going on. So we appreciate each and every fighter for going out there for nothing else but our entertainment and a paycheck. But let's talk about that later. As stated, that Carla Esparza fight, not that exciting, and I actually had Michelle Waterson winning. Another decision that I did not agree with was the Donald Cerrone-Anthony Pettis fight. I had Donald Cerrone winning, and to be honest, if you look at Anthony Pettis, it looked like Anthony Pettis had Donald Cerrone winning that fight. A great fight nonetheless, and again, guys, I cannot express to you how goddamn happy I am to be here with you, my fellow fans. It's about to be a fun night. These streams are a little rough tonight. I've been having trouble with them myself, so if they do not work, I do apologize, guys, but I cannot control the goddamn internet. I do have a couple alternatives, so again, if you need it, holla at your boy. First up, Greg Hardy versus Jurgen de Castro. Jurgen de Castro 5-0, undefeated in his professional career. Greg Hardy, of course, 5-1-1. That sole loss coming, if I remember correctly, from when he got disqualified after the fact when he used the inhaler. We will call that inhaler gate. How's that? I'm going to coin that. Copyright it. You hear anybody else say it, let them know. Mike Jesse MMA said it first. Yeah, you saw it all over Pettis' face. It looked like he said as much to Cowboy, which how often do you see that? A fighter not wanting to take the W pretty much. He said he'll take it, but you saw it all over Pettis' face. He did not think he earned that victory. And no offense to Anthony Pettis, he is a goddamn former champion of the world, Craig. But he did not get that win. he just didn't, man. He just didn't. All right, let me get these stats together for you guys. You know I will get into the fight and forget. So let me make sure you guys are all buttoned up. I love that if there's even a whisper of controversy, Greg Hardy is right there with his hands up saying, I want in. Put me in, coach. And Dana White could not wait to call Greg Hardy's number. Here we go. If I'm a little bit behind you guys, feel free to either pause your stream or just bear with me and understand how that's the magic of the internet. Jurgen de Castro is coming out throwing bombs. Just missed that right hand. Greg Hardy, visibly a bigger man than Jurgen de Castro. But as we know, especially in the heavyweight division, that is not enough to get you that dub. Greg Hardy does look dialed in. He looks in fantastic shape as well. Leg kick just missed from Jurgen to Castro. I'm loving, by the way, guys. I don't know how you feel about it. I'm loving these tweets on the broadcast. I'm liking it. It's a nice little touch. I wasn't sure if they were going to continue it for the main card, but looks like they are going with it. Is Greg Hardy ever going to fill in that tattoo? These are the questions that need answers. Nice jab from Greg Hardy. I'm going to be looking to see how Greg Hardy mitigates his stamina. He does not have the best stamina. Contrary to belief, just because he's from, he was an NFL elite athlete, that doesn't mean that he's a goddamn decathlon. A decathlete. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't mean he has the best lungs in the division. In football, you're going for a few seconds and then you stop. You go for a few seconds, then you stop. You go hard, you go violent, but you're not keeping a pace for 15 minutes straight while another man is trying to take your head off. I'm not here to compare the sports. I'm not here to compare the athletes, but they are different. There is a difference, and you've seen that since Greg Hardy's been here, hence the inhaler gate. Can't be easy to be a 265-pound man in a cage with asthma. What is going on with these stats, UFC? The stats are not updating, guys. Not sure why. If they keep that up, I'm just going to take them off completely. But let's see. I'll give it a chance. Maybe I'll mess with it in between rounds. Leg kick again from the Castro, just misses. Greg Hardy stalking him, but keeping a smart distance. When Castro blitzes, Greg Hardy's just out enough to start moving his feet and avoid some of those power punches. The Castro came out hard and fast, but looks like Greg Hardy has acclimated and found his range. Not so much in the landing department, but able to gauge the range of the Castro. Nice leg kick for Greg Hardy. Not much snap on it though, but it did land. And when you're this size, you don't have to land clean on many of your strikes to cause damage. Nice leg kick from De Castro. They are both throwing. Let's go. Ooh, that kick from Greg Hardy. That's a new little tool. I like that. That's what you want to see from Greg Hardy. You want to see evolution every single fight. And I'm liking what I see so far. Right misses wide for Greg Hardy. Did not set up that punch at all. He needs to be careful. De Castro has power. You can't just throw something like that without setting it up. And from that range, you're asking to get knocked out if you're Greg Hardy. Not that that's an easy thing to do. Guys, can I express to you how happy I am to be back? Good first round. Nice activity. I wish I had the goddamn stats. But a good first round nonetheless. Let's see what I can do about this. It's got to be crazy how quiet it is in there. You have to whisper. You don't want the other guy to hear your corner. It sounds like Greg Hardy is wheezing, guys. I don't know if it's just me being paranoid, but it sounds like he is breathing. Sounds like his breathing is obstructed, honestly. That's that asthma. You know, you can't do anything about it. You can't out train asthma. You know what I mean? It's rough. It's rough. No problem, Glitter. There you go, my friend. Enjoy that. Again, if you guys need a link, let me know. Because being a fight fan is a team sport. No man left behind on Mike Jesse MMA. You understand what I'm saying to you? I did indeed send you a Masvidal and Usman shirt. How things come back full circle, my friend. That is crazy. I didn't even think about that, man. That is wild. And I'm not, man. I'm also a fan of both of those guys. That's going to be a hell of a fight if it happens, but I would like to see them fight someone else in the meantime, man. I honestly don't think that's going to be the next fight for those guys. I think Jorge Masvidal fights. It's going to sound crazy. I think he fights either Conor McGregor, or I think they find a way to make him give him a fight against Kobe Covington. For Usman, I really don't know what's going on with him. It's just I don't know. I don't want to put on Usman. I just don't understand why we didn't we don't have Jorge and Usman signed yet. I just don't get it. I don't get it. If it sounds like I'm leaning towards putting on Usman, in the back of my head I am, just because I know Masvidal's not out here ducking anybody. Not that I think Usman is. Just a super weird, man. I don't know what's going on. And I don't think Usman is afraid of Jorge at all. I honestly would favor Usman in that fight, and I think Usman favors Usman in that fight. You understand what I'm saying to you? I just not sure that's the fight Usman wants. I'm not sure why, but I feel like he thinks he has bigger fish to fry. Who those bigger fish are, I don't know for him. I feel like Jorge is the one with more options. Conor's not going to fight at Usman. Dana's not going to make that fight ever. You never know. Tyron Woodley has a fight against Gilbert Burns, which surprised the hell out of me to see that matchup. Could not believe Tyron Woodley, who was saying he didn't want to fight Leon Edwards because he didn't deserve it, is now fighting Gilbert Burns. Now, I love it. Don't get me wrong. This is what I think Tyron Woodley has to do. Fight whoever the hell is saying they want to fight. I think Tyron Woodley can beat anybody in the division. I think he needs to just get back in the octagon. It's been a year, man. And the last time we saw you fight, you look like a shell of yourself, and, you know, you got your ass whooped by the champion. You got to show something. He's probably 2 fights away, which is crazy since so many champions get instant rematches. Even people who held the belt for 1 fight or never defended it at all get rematches, and Tyron Woodley, I'm saying, is at least 2 fights away. We know his relationship with Dana White. He's got a road to go. He's got a path to walk to get back to the championship. He needs to start walking it. Glad to see that he is. Gilbert Burns surprised the hell out of me, but that is going to be a wild fight. Shout out to Gilbert Burns showing me some love on Instagram. I appreciate the hell out of that. That was really cool. A uneventful round 2. Pretty good body kick for Greg Hardy. Neither man wants to take that risk to put themselves out there right now, man. Not that they're not trying, but you can see the hesitance in both men. We just hear DC and Joe Rogan talking about it as well. They're leaning towards putting it on Castro, though. I can't disagree with them. Greg Hardy is at least trying to put that jab out there. He is trying to close distance. Castro's not giving him anything. As you hear DC compliment the cardio of Greg Hardy. I was talking about Greg Hardy wheezing in between rounds, but I mean, he does look good. He's active. What do you want from the guy right now, right? That overhand right Greg Hardy keeps throwing is not good. The jab does not look bad. That overhand right he keeps throwing is not good. Against higher echelon heavyweights, he's going to get himself hurt throwing that. He's not setting it up. He does a jab. Yeah, cool. Pause, comes out, goes back in, and then throws that overhand right. But he's not even like leaning fully into it. I don't even know how to explain it, guys. It's really weird. What is Greg Hardy doing? He's making faces at Castro? I think Greg Hardy is making faces and sounds at Castro. And it's working. The Castro is mad. Or at least energized. Pretty much pushes his coach away. Don't get me wrong. Greg Hardy, the person, horrible. Greg Hardy, the fighter, is pretty entertaining. Round 3. Greg Hardy coming out like a bat out of hell. Nice leg kicks as well. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get it. Castro with a decent leg kick. You see everyone tweeting about the leg kicks right now. Oh, man. I am a kid in a candy shop tonight, y'all. Welcome back. Ooh, that is a beautiful leg kick from Greg Hardy. Land right on the outside of the quad of the Castro. Nice jab from Greg Hardy as well. Nice leg kick again from Greg Hardy, and another one. The Castro returns with a leg kick of his own, but he's off balance from just eating that inside leg kick from Greg Hardy. Honestly, if Greg Hardy just keeps up this jab leg kicks, these jabs and these leg kicks for 3 more minutes, he's going to get a W. Which would be, of course, his 6th victory in mixed martial arts. De Castro down. Pretty sure that was a trip. Wonder if Greg Hardy is going to go into the guard of the Castro. He has that the right foot of the Castro. If he wants to push it aside, he can try to go on side control. He looks at Herb Dean. I guess he thought Herb Dean was saying something. Herb Dean was like, nah, go ahead, keep going, man. If you want to keep punching his thigh, go ahead. Needs to be careful of those up kicks. Even though the Castro's a pretty, stocky, short guy, so it's not like it's going to come out of nowhere. But you do have to be careful about that. This is smart for Greg Hardy. He's not in any danger. He's taking time off the clock. Greg Hardy said, man, let him up. After wasting about a minute. Nice cross from Greg Hardy. Just missed a nice leg kick. DC and Joe Rogan sounds like I'm not the only person struggling without the stats. But it does confirm for me that I am going to, after this fight, take those stats off from the side right here. If this is your first time tuning in, usually these numbers are moving. Normally this is giving us some useful information. Not tonight. Fight's done. Yeah, Jurgen Castro pretty much saying that he hurt his foot. It is what it is. That happens, man. When you're in the most dangerous weight class in the world at heavyweight and you're in a cage fighting on live TV in front of hundreds of thousands of people, shit happens. Injuries happen. He was doing some good leg kicks early, and that might have been what hurt his foot. Ah, yeah, you see it. You see it. His foot went right against his shin. That is the danger of throwing leg kicks. If you guys remember Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 2, Conor throwing a lot of leg kicks on Nate Diaz, and he was landing. And then Conor McGregor was limping after the fight, saying he hurt his leg, kicking the leg of Nate Diaz. If you don't know how to throw leg kicks properly, or even if you do and they don't land properly, you can hurt yourself. You can hurt your shin. You can break your foot. And it's painful as hell. Let's hear the judges' scorecards. I'm sure this is going to be 30-27 or 29-28 for your boy Greg Hardy. 30-27, Greg Hardy. I turn my TV up so we can hear what Greg Hardy has to say. Greg Hardy said he heard DC say he needs to check the leg kicks, so he tried to check the leg kicks. Greg Hardy saying the next stop is the Joe Rogan podcast. So Cormier, commentator slash coach tonight, they can hear you, DC. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, good for Greg Hardy, though, man. Jurgen Castro said he heard his Greg Hardy's new to the sport. Says he literally wasn't thinking about checking the leg kicks until he heard DC, who's at the desk, talking about checking them, so he tried. Again, what more can you ask for from someone new to the sport, fighting in the premier organization in the world for fight sports, being the UFC? Congratulations to Greg Hardy. on getting that victory. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I did lie to you. I said I was about to take these stats off. I am not. I'm going to tell you why, guys. I'm going to try to break the fourth wall, as Ariel Helwani says. I don't want to switch the feed that I have, which is set up with the main screen and then the stats. I don't want to switch to my setup to just show me, because I might encounter errors. That just is what it is, guys. I don't want the audio to start getting messed up, and then I'm trying to do then I wind up just trying to fix it during and all that. It's not even worth it. We're just gonna keep that up. I won't go to the stats, but I will put the fighters up. Maybe I can hit get each fighter's record or something. I'll get creative. We'll do something with it. But it is gonna stay. I'm not chancing it, y'all. It's been 2 months since I had the opportunity to join you, my fellow fans, in watching a goddamn UFC card, and I'm not about to chance it because we don't want to see this right here. You understand what I'm saying to you? When is the event? The event is now, my friend. We just saw the first fight of the main event, which was Greg Hardy versus Jurgen de Castro. Greg Hardy came out with the win, 30-27 across the board. Not the best fight of the night, because there has been some bangers. If you did not see the prelims, man, you missed out. It's definitely worth going back and watching. There you go with a link. My friend, thank you for joining me. Let's go. We are back, baby. Guys, Jeremy Stephens versus Calvin Kattar. When it was announced for the original UFC 249 that was supposed to go down in April, I was so goddamn excited for this fight, guys. If you are not familiar with these guys, they are both savages. They are both animals. They are both killers. And I say that as a compliment. You understand what I'm saying? These guys are fucking ridiculous. And this is about to be a war. Jeremy Stephens, a veteran in the game. Highlight reel knockouts at 155. Highlight reel knockouts at 145. Every single opponent that he beats remembers fighting Jeremy Stephens. I'm talking about out for a year plus. Josh Emmett, out for a year plus. Gilbert Melendez, out for a year plus. Comes back, doesn't look the same, retires. Jeremy Stephens takes years off of your career. And it's not just in his hands. Do you remember the leg kicks that he landed on Gilbert Melendez? It was disgusting to look at Gilbert's lead leg. You had Nate Diaz in the corner of Gilbert Melendez telling him to stick it out because Gilbert Melendez, one of the guys, I don't know if just strictly UFC fans appreciate the fighter that Gilbert Melendez is. First of all, Gilbert Melendez should have been a UFC champion because he beat Benson Henderson. Go back and watch that fight. I consider that man one of the legends of the sport and one of the most talented men to ever grace the sport. I'm not saying he's top 5, top 15, top 20 or anything like that, but Gilbert Melendez is championship quality during his prime. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And Jeremy Stephens ate that leg up to where Gilbert Melendez, in between rounds, said he didn't want anymore. Said no mas. He wound up going out, but I think that was a mistake. I think he should have thrown in the towel. I think he should have quit. I don't think he should have came out there because look what happened after that. Again, out for a year plus. Josh Emmett suffered damage to his head so severe that he was out for over a year. And that is before we even get started on talking about the other half of the equation, Calvin Kattar. Come on now. Let's look at these men's records. Let's dig in. Can you tell I'm excited? Just a little bit. 10 wins by knockout for Calvin Kattar, 2 by submission. 41% striking accuracy. That is disgusting, guys. He had a very competitive fight versus Zabit Magomedsharipov. That was a good fight. A win over Ricardo Lamas. You don't beat Ricardo. Ricardo Lamas is one of those guys that I know, like some people take it as an insult, gatekeeper. But I'm sorry. I'm seeing the card next Saturday. I just noticed they have 2 bantamweights fighting at featherweight. I guess short notice, and I like that. I like that a lot. I think a lot of these fights should have been catch weights. We'll get into that a little later. Look at that. KO for Kattar. KO for Kattar. KO for Kattar. Against Shane Burgos, another young up-and-comer. Decision win over Andre Fili. Kattar has a bright future in the featherweight division. And this fight will tell us where Calvin Kattar falls in this division. Guys, the UFC in general is more stacked with talent than it ever has been before. If anyone says, oh, the prime of UFC, the back in the heyday, this is the goddamn heyday today. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? 155, ridiculously stacked. Welterweight, ridiculously stacked. Featherweight and bantamweight. Those 4 divisions are just the creme de la creme of what mixed martial arts can, has been, and will be. Calvin Kattar has a chance tonight, if he beats UFC veteran Jeremy Stephens, to show that he belongs in the top 10 and that he is a real contender in this division. Jeremy Stephens is putting it on the line tonight, fighting another young guy, as he did with Zabit Magomedsharipov, a opponent that they have in common. Jeremy Stephens can either win tonight and show that he's not going anywhere in the top 10, or he can give up his top 10 spot to the young up-and-comer Calvin Kattar. Do you think Jeremy Stephens is about to lay down and let someone take his rank? Do you think he's about to lay down and let another man take his sandwich? God damn it! I think not. I think not. Look at that. 19 wins by knockout. 2 by submission, and only 7 by decision. 40% striking accuracy. I'm going to ignore that grappling accuracy because I don't think either man is coming here to wrestle. Jeremy Stephens an L to Yair Rodriguez. An L to Zabit. He cannot afford another loss to a young up-and-coming fighter. Lost to Aldo. He is in a rough patch. Man, I forgot he had all these losses in a row, to be honest with you. That does not take away by how much of a savage Jeremy Stephens is. Before that, he destroyed Josh Emmett. Before that, he messed up the Korean Superboy, Dong Ho Choi. The fight before that, it was won by decision, but again, changed the career of Gilbert Melendez. Has a loss to Moicano. Has a loss to Edgar. Again, Jeremy Stephens, a savage. Jeremy Stephens, always dangerous, but he has been losing to the cream of the crop, the new young up-and-comers in the division. He can't keep suffering those losses if he wants to stay top 10. Not in a division as stacked as 145 is right now. And as we talk about these divisions, let's go ahead and take a look at the rankings. This card is crazy. Man, you said it. You said it. My man Sean reached out to me earlier and said, when the hell are you getting on this stream? This card is bananas. Man, it was. It was. It has been a fantastic card. I have been jumping out of my seat since the early prelims. Sam Alvey versus Stan. Whoo, Sam Alvey tough as nails, but he could not pull out that victory against an uppercomer in the division. Man, I heard something like in Ireland about Conor that he wants to fight, but the UFC don't want him to fight. The UFC wants him versus Khabib. Yeah, man. Yeah, I would not be surprised if they're telling Conor to sit tight for the to fight Khabib. But here's what's super disappointing about that. Tonight we are here to watch Justin Geikie versus Tony Ferguson in the main event for the interim 155 title. You can't keep having interim champions. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but you can't have interim champions and then not give them, have their very next fight be a title fight. It happened to Colby Covington. And I'm not a Colby Covington defender, you guys know. You guys know I'm not a Colby Covington defender, but he should have got a title fight for his next fight after he had that interim championship. Tony Ferguson trips on a goddamn cord during a media event on fight week and gets stripped of an interim title. We can't keep seeing interim championships and then their next fight isn't to unify the belt. A Khabib Conor fight sells. It sells in a closet. It sells in a basement. It sells anywhere with no fans, all the fans. Fight Island, Fight Peninsula, wherever the hell you want to have that fight, it's going to sell. And it's going to be the biggest fight ever again in UFC history. But I don't want to see that shit if there's an interim title holder out there. They deserve that shot. They deserve to unify the belt. The division deserves it. Conor McGregor versus Khabib at this point makes no goddamn sense. Zero, guys. No matter how big of a fan you are of either fighter, it makes no goddamn sense. I want to see Conor McGregor come back to the octagon because it's good for everybody in the sport, man. It brings eyes to the sport, and that's good for everybody. It's good for me. It's good for you. It's good for fans. It's good for MMA in general. Shit, it's good for Bellator. You understand? It's good for anything kind of associated for MMA. He doesn't. It doesn't make sense for him to fight against Khabib. And it's not because Khabib has a title. It's because there's an interim championship out there, and that deserves to be unified. The fight to unify it is the winner of tonight's main event versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. That's the fight that I want to see in August or September. And I don't want to hear I don't want to hear anything else from Dana. So yes, I have heard those rumors. It might be true because I'm surprised that we haven't heard of. I'm not going to say I'm surprised. There's a goddamn worldwide pandemic going on. But I would like to see Conor contracted. If you saw, he had a little Instagram exchange with the Nathan Diaz earlier tonight on Dana White's page. Shit, if you want to do Conor Nate 3 in the meantime, who's going to complain? You're going to buy it. You're going to watch it. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to watch it. It's going to be fireworks. The lead up is going to be entertaining. Do that fight. If you think Nate doesn't stand a chance, fine at that. That's even better for the UFC and Dana White. Let Conor go get another W. He looked fan-fucking-tastic versus Cowboy Cerrone. Fantastic. I can't, we'll dig into that later. He looks like oh, man. Light years ahead of the game against Cowboy Cerrone. So I'm not saying Conor, and I'm not saying after that win, he didn't deserve a title shot. If you want to give Conor a title shot, whatever. Do it. I get it. I'm not saying he's the most deserving, especially how stacked 155 is, but all right, whatever. But if there's an interim champion, unify that goddamn belt. Let Conor McGregor go fight Nate Diaz. Or shit, you want to give him a title? Go put him against Jorge Masvidal for the BMF title. I'll watch the hell out of that too. And they want Khabib in the winter of this in July, then Conor in September. So the problem with that is that it's almost impossible. Khabib honors Ramadan. That's happening right now. Right now, he's not eating the same. He's not training the same. He's not maintaining the same lifestyle because of Ramadan, right? To recover from Ramadan and what his body goes through during Ramadan, look, if you guys Google Khabib Nurmagomedov Ramadan and look at pictures of him look at pictures of him from May and June and July. He says he needs a few weeks to get his body back together. So it ends end of May. So if he gets back to training fully and healthy in like early to mid-June, he said recently he needs 2 months after that to train. August, September. They're really going. Javier just said on Luke Thomas's podcast on Sirius XM. Check it out. Shout out to Luke Thomas and Javier. He said that they would like to fight in September in Abu Dhabi. I'm all good for that. I'm all good for August or September. I would love to see Khabib come back in July. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not going to happen. I don't think we'll ever see Khabib fight on like fight week. It just doesn't line up properly for him. And also, not to mention, no offense to Khabib, but when do we ever see him turn around in 2 months to fight? That I don't, you know what I mean? That's not going to happen. Here we go, guys. Round one. Ooh, that coffee got cold. Not good. I'm going to have to pour me a new cup after this. Nice jab to the body from Cater. Both men very aggressive early. In the first minute and a half. Ooh, that uppercut just missed from Jeremy Stevens. Jeremy Stevens struggles against like longer guys. Cater does appear to be taller than Jeremy Stevens, but not by much. Not by much at all. Nice leg kick from Jeremy Stevens. My brother's a big UFC fan. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. MMA, in my opinion, the most entertaining sport on the planet. And it's so goddamn diverse. There's so many aspects of mixed martial arts. It's not called mixed martial arts for no reason. To see everything come together, to see the evolution of this sport in the last 25 years, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Calvin Kattar switching stances because of how vicious those leg kicks can be from Jeremy Stevens. Jeremy Stevens lands that outside leg kick. Oh, good head movement from Jeremy Stevens, who has been training, or at least was before all this craziness with the COVID, was training with Tony Ferguson. He said, quote, Tony Ferguson told me my foot movement sucked. But Jeremy Stevens looks to have good footwork and head movement tonight. Really good. Oh, nice right hand from Kattar. Kattar, not bad head movement himself, but Jeremy Stevens is reading it well. Oh, nice body kick from Jeremy Stevens. Nice jab from Kattar. Only thing you see a lot of people hesitate. Oh, nice combination that ended with the body. That leg kick just buckled the leg of Kattar. Guys, I can see someone's jaw get broken and not even kind of blink an eye. A vicious leg kick? I feel it. I feel it. Nice cross. Followed by a leg kick, Jeremy Stevens. Jeremy Stevens looks fantastic. Oh, nice kick to the body, followed by a cross from Calvin Kattar. Kattar's combinations are beautiful. He doesn't look that long, but those combinations that Kattar is throwing makes him just look like a way longer fighter. I have to watch again to see exactly how Kattar is angling to land some of these combinations the way he does, but it is something to see. Ooh, great first round. Great first round. I give it to Stevens, but that is close. Oh, man. Woo! Do you feel it? Do you feel it? I am really surprised that they're not putting any ice on that lead leg of Calvin Cater. Maybe they don't want to let Jeremy Stevens know that it's affecting him. But you saw it buckle. There's no way that Calvin Cater is not feeling anything from that. It took a while to warm up for the guys at the desk. I know it's weird with them not having a crowd behind, but man, I feel like they've gotten the energy like pretty down pat. Really impressed with this broadcast overall. Nice jab from commentator. That leg kick again from Jeremy Stevens. He's put so much into it. Leg kick from Cater. Another leg kick, outside leg kick for Calvin Cater. Really coming at that lead leg of Stevens. Ooh, nice combination. That left hand looked to hit the chest, though. It's got to be so weird because you can hear the coaches giving advice to their fighters. It's got to be weird when you hear the Israel Adesanya, they swinging. Shout out to Izzy. Champ shit. But it's got to be weird, man. You hear the other guy's coach saying, hit him with the three. You know the three's coming, you know? I don't know, man. It's wild. At the same time, I know doesn't compare, but when I used to wrestle, it's weird. Was just talking to a family member about this. They're like, how do you hear, when there is a crowd? How do you hear your coach? It's weird. My wrestling coach had a trach, did not have a voice box. Talk like this, real raspy, couldn't, project. And sometimes we did have crowds, people being real loud, other teams being loud. I could hear him crystal clear. Crystal clear. Heard nothing else but that raspy voice giving me directions. It's wild. But if you train with someone for years, you can pick their voice out like a needle in a haystack. Another leg kick from Jeremy Stevens. Even though Cater's been the one landing the better leg kicks this round. Left high kick. Oh! Jeremy Stevens is down. They're about to end it. Yeah, it's over. It's over. Wow. Yikes. Calvin Cater has hands, ladies and gentlemen. We were just talking about it earlier. Cater isn't the biggest 145 pounder, but the way he does his combinations, the angles, he just makes himself so long. And look, that's actually an elbow that he drops him with. He landed an elbow in that exchange. Look at that head movement. Get his head off of the center line and hit him with that elbow instead of the hook. Guys, that is world-class striking right there. While earlier they were saying, hey, Calvin Cater's a good boxer. He's a good striker. Again, mixed martial arts. It's a little bit of Muay Thai for you right there. You understand? Holy shit! Man, oh man. Calvin Cater just proved to me that he is the real deal. My man Tim hit me up earlier and asked me who I had tonight. I was this close to being like, yeah, man, Jeremy Stevens over Calvin Cater all the way. And then I decided to shut the hell up. Because I just, you can't call a fight like this. You can't call a fight with these two savages. That cut on Jeremy Stevens' head is disgusting. It's nasty. Man, shout out to Jeremy Stevens. He's a vet in the game. Again, a savage. He looked fantastic this fight. He looked great this fight. He got caught with a sneaky elbow. I hope this doesn't dishearten him. I hope this doesn't make him think like, oh, he doesn't have it anymore. It does suck. He is on a string of losses. But he was in this fight. He was in there. He was in this fight the whole time. See Chuck Mendenhall talking about that this dude has an arsenal. Calvin Cater. Whew. All right, guys. As always, I'm going to turn this up so we can listen to what the winner of this fight has to say. Jeremy Stevens, all class.
Gotta be honest, a little upset. He showed up 5 pounds overweight. You know, and first one on the scale kind of pissed me off. You know, I don't really like that shit, but motherfucker knows how to fight. And it's tough after you exchange like that with somebody not showing a little respect. So, good fight, man.
Calvin Cater, you're saying how mad he was that Jeremy Stevens showed up 5 pounds overweight, which he did. I forgot all about that. I get it. Calvin Cater was pissed off about that because these weight cuts are dangerous. They're hard for everybody. So when your opponent doesn't go through with it. Calvin Cater talking about those spots on his back. I was wondering the same thing. Calvin Cater saying he's learning as he's going, which is dangerous, scary.
Congratulations, sir. Spectacular performance, beautiful knockout. Hey, and everyone back home going through this first shot, the boss man Dana White, keeping all the fighters busy into the world out there. You know, dealing with this pandemic. Tough times don't last. Tough people do so. Keep fighting, and we'll get through this together.
Calvin Cater, tough times don't last. Tough people do. Shout out to Calvin Cater and congratulations. Getting that W, my friend. As stated before, both men savages. And you see, I wasn't exaggerating. Mike Jesse's not going to steer you wrong. All right, let's see what's going on. Again, guys, we are here for UFC 249. Justin Geikie versus Tony Ferguson. 2 fights in the main card down. 3 to go. We're still going to go into the rankings of 145, especially now, talk about where each man goes, what's next for each man before we get to our next fight. The next fight, of course, Francis Ngannou versus Rosenstruck. They're showing a promo right now, giving away a chance to hang out with Holly Berry. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I would sell both my pinky toes to hang out with Holly Berry. She still got it. Guys, this card, unbe-fucking-leavable. I didn't see it coming either, man. I like definitely not like that. A finish, absolutely. But an elbow like that to end it, whew, that is something else right there. That is something else. All right, let's go into the rankings of 145 after seeing such a goddamn display of talent and brutality in the featherweight division. Of course, we have the champion, Alexander Volkanovski. Who presumably will be seen next against Max Holloway in a rematch. Max Holloway 2,000% deserves that rematch if he wants it, which I'm not quite sure about. So we'll see. But if he does, that's the fight to make. Brian Ortega at number 2. Zabit Magomed Sharipov at number 3. Chan Sung Jung, a.k.a. Korean Zombie, at number 4. Of course, I believe the fight to make is Brian Ortega versus Korean Zombie. Now, that bothers the hell out of me to even say, guys. Here's why. Brian Ortega, if you guys aren't familiar with the story, has had some beef with Korean Zombie. Apparently, they were supposed to fight before. Brian Ortega had to pull out due to injury. When asked about it on the Ariel Helwani MMA show, Korean Zombie and his translator pretty much said that, I'm sorry, I'm watching this GSP highlights, a.k.a. the GOAT. But Korean Zombie and his translator pretty much said that Brian Ortega ducked him, so they don't have any interest in fighting Brian Ortega or signing a bout agreement to fight Brian Ortega again. Kind of been there, done that. They weren't interested. Brian Ortega hears this and says about his translator, who's a pop star over in Korea, or a rapper or something like that over in Korea. Also helps manage Korean Zombie. Says that he's going to put hands on the manager of Korean Zombie next time he sees him. Says he's going to smack the shit out of him pretty much. Well, Brian Ortega kept his word. When he saw him, and I can't remember the guy's name right now, so I don't want to disrespect him by giving you the wrong name. But when Brian Ortega saw him, he waited for the Korean Zombie to go to the bathroom, which, yeah, and goes up to this small, frail guy that looks about $130 soaking wet with a pocket full of nickels, and smacks him in his face. Brian Ortega is a professional fighter. Brian Ortega is tough as nails. I'm a fan of Brian Ortega, the fighter. Brian Ortega is a person that decided to, being a professional athlete, being one of the most dangerous men on the planet, going in, smacking a pop star when there was a real fighter there in the same row, one seat next to him, but wait for that fighter to go to the bathroom to go attack this fighter. That's some bitch shit. Plain and simple. Brian Ortega is a great fighter. Brian Ortega is a fantastic fighter. Brian Ortega made a punk-ass move to smack a pop star. I don't think you should be able to smack a pop star after the fighter who you're talking about fighting goes to the bathroom, and then that gets you pretty much a number one contender title eliminator, which is what a fight between him and Korean Zombie would be. But Korean Zombie said himself, if you wanted to fight with me, you got it. So that is, I think, going to be the next fight for both of those guys. But it's unfortunate that that's how it happened. I think Brian Ortega should have been fined. I think Brian Ortega should have had charges brought up against him. And I think Brian Ortega should have been suspended. Take it at how you want, guys. Yair Rodriguez is number 5. Frankie Edgar at number 6. But again, we know Frankie Edgar has moved down to 135, waiting to see his debut over there. And against who? Is that already booked against Corey Sandhagen? Jeremy Stevens was at number 7. But of course, he will be moving down. Josh Emmett at number 8. Calvin Kattar at number 9. So what I think will happen is Calvin Kattar will flip spots with Jeremy Stevens. I can't imagine Calvin Kattar will be looking down in the division where you see Shane Burgos. He's not going to take that fight. Jose Aldo, who has moved down to 135, was supposed to be fighting against Henry Cejudo for the 135-pound championship. But of course, Cejudo fighting Dominic Cruz tonight because Jose Aldo, his work visa expired. And he could not get it back because of the pandemic that was going on. They said wait till all this craziness is done. Arnold Allen, Sadiq Youssef, Ryan Hall, Danny Ige. Calvin Kattar is not taking those fights. Calvin Kattar is going to be looking up in the division at a Yair Rodriguez or Zabit. I can't imagine Zabit takes the Calvin Kattar fight. And I actually know that they already fought. So Zabit already has a win over Calvin Kattar. I think Yair Rodriguez versus Calvin Kattar will be the next fight. And I think the winner of that will then be 1 or 2 fights away from a title fight. Most likely one good victory away from a title fight. So big stuff ahead for Calvin Kattar. And I didn't mean to tear into Brian Ortega. Again, I like Brian Ortega, the fighter. But that's just that's bully stuff to me. And bullies need to get dealt with, whether it be by someone smacking the shit out of them, or by the people in charge, like Dana White and the UFC, punishing them for their piss poor actions. Smacking a guy way smaller than you, who's not trained in martial arts, there should have been a punishment handed down. Yeah, Jeremy Stevens is not getting a title shot ever. In the future. I don't want to see Jeremy Stevens retire. I like Jeremy Stevens. He's exciting. You guys saw how pumped I was before this, and that was largely because of Jeremy Stevens. But yeah, Jeremy Stevens. If Jeremy Stevens is fighting to prove that he's the best in the world, he should retire. Absolutely. If Jeremy Stevens is fighting for paychecks and entertainment, then he should keep going because I think he has a lot of paychecks ahead of him. But if his health is on the line, yeah, he should retire as well. So I don't know. But do I think Jeremy Stevens can't beat anybody in the top 15? No, Jeremy Stevens versus Sadiq Youssef, that'd be a great fight. Arnold Allen, Shane Burgos, who's he already beat. I'd watch all those fights. But it does beg the question, who Jeremy Stevens is now in this division. It's going to be rough. If he thinks he's the best person in the world, which I do think Jeremy Stevens does think, or at least wants to be that, that time has flown by. Yeah, I agree with you, man. That time's come and gone. Here we go. They're about to break out the heavyweight rankings as we are about to see the number 2 and number 6 ranked fighters in the heavyweight division go up against each other. I would say this is a title eliminator, but you have DC Daniel Cormier waiting in the shadows to get his deserved rematch against Stipe Miocic. Stipe, of course, a first responder here in the States. He is his main focus right now is on helping out his community over in Cleveland, Ohio during this pandemic. At the same time, as Dana White said, the heavyweight division has to move on. I just wonder what that looks like. Is Stipe forced to come back this summer and defend his belt earlier than he'd like? And will that be against Daniel Cormier, who everyone knows Dana White favors? I'm not saying Dana White favors Daniel Cormier to say that Daniel Cormier doesn't deserve a rematch. He does. He beat Stipe the first fight. He was winning pretty easily, in my opinion. The second fight, the rematch against Stipe, he got way too confident, way too big for his bridges, and tried to turn it into a boxing match, which made no goddamn sense for Daniel Cormier to do against the bigger and honestly more dangerous on the feet at least, Stipe Miocic. It made no sense why he kept just trying to jab up Stipe. He was winning though. Again, he was jabbing Stipe up. He was landing. He was fighting the fight that he wanted to fight, but it just didn't make sense, and it turned out to bite him in the ass once Stipe found success in those body shots, started eating that body up, and as soon as Stipe noticed that his body shots were affecting DC, he kept it going and eventually turned that into a victory. So DC does deserve a rematch, but again, DC is about to retire. He said he has one fight. So do you want DC to come back, fight Stipe, win, and then walk into the sunset? And now you took Stipe, the most dominant heavyweight champion ever. You beat him twice, and you left him in a division with no clear champion to fight against to even reclaim his championship. It's a weird spot. It's a really weird spot. Give me 2 seconds, guys, as I get my stream together. And below Francis is Curtis Blade, who Francis has beaten twice. Junior Dos Santos, who no one would be clamoring for to be a title contender right now. Derek Lewis, who has a win over Francis, does have a loss against Daniel Cormier, though, for the title. And then right below him is Jarzinho. So I don't think anybody would be terribly upset if we saw the winner of Francis versus Rosenstruck get a title shot. It's just super, super, super weird position. You won't often see a division in this type of position where you have someone like DC, one of the greatest of all times, one of the most accomplished combat sports athletes of all time, waiting for a trilogy bout, a rematch against a champion that he's beaten before for the belt, and he beaten decisively in the first round knockout, and then was beaten the second time again. It's a weird position. I have no idea what his division does, but you have to feel for Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou gets this win tonight and then doesn't have a title shot afterwards. What is he fighting for? What is he fighting these dangerous ass heavyweights for, if not for a title shot? If not to get bigger paychecks? If not to get pay-per-view points? It's a rough spot. How do you convince him to come back after this win, if he gets it, and fight again? Who does he even fight? Who does it make sense for him to fight? Maybe a Derek Lewis rematch. That's the only fight that I could see that even makes kind of sense, but he shouldn't have to do that. He's bounced back since that loss to Stipe. He hasn't lost since. I'm sorry. He lost to Derek Lewis in that stinker of a fight. But other than that, he's looked fantastic. I do favor Francis in this fight heavily. Jarzinho, a good fighter. Jarzinho, a dangerous fighter. Jarzinho, never out. We saw him losing every round and then coming back in the last seconds in his last fight. But Francis is the more proven guy. You know what? I won't even say Francis is the more well-rounded because let's be honest, Francis is not the most is not a very well-rounded fighter. But he is the more dangerous guy. He's the more accomplished guy. He is the more proven guy. I can say that without any semblance of hesitation. So we're digging into Jairzinho's record. So Jairzinho, with the win versus Overeem, with the ridiculous destruction of Overeem's face in the last 5 seconds of the fight. Again, a fight that Jairzinho was about to lose, like clearly. A win over Arlovsky. Arlovsky's a little over the hill, though. But I will say Arlovsky doesn't lose. Arlovsky doesn't get knocked out or finish very often. At least recently. Arlovsky was like the king of going to decisions for a while. And Jairzinho put an end to that shit. A win over Alan Crowder. Alan Crowder, a decent fighter. Washed him in 10 seconds. A win over Albini, a.k.a. Mr. Diaper, a.k.a. Big Baby. Do you guys remember that? where Albini literally looked like he was walking out in the octagon with a diaper. It's really weird. But Jairzinho is not as proven. A win over Overeem's impressive. A knockout over Overeem's even more impressive. But again, he was losing, man. He was really, really losing that fight. Came back, showed great grit. But as you see, 9 wins by knockout, 1 by decision. He either finishes you usually early. I'm sorry, he's undefeated. So he always finishes you and usually early. Neither man has great stamina, which is why I don't see this going all 3 rounds. Both huge men, 6'4", both 260 pounds or heavier. And Ngannou with the 5-inch reach advantage, though. 83-inch reach advantage. Francis has one of the longest reaches in the UFC. Of course, the longest reach belonging to John Jones at, I believe, 84 inches. Which is tied with Stefan Struve, who's goddamn 7 feet tall. So that just tells you how freakish of an athlete Francis Ngannou is, as well as John Jones. And let's take a peek at Francis Ngannou's record real quick before we get to the action. 14-3. His last win, a KO. Is that his last fight? I have to fact check this. Was his last fight really in June of 2019 versus Dos Santos? Can't remember off the top of my head, but he did end Junior Dos Santos. Before that, he ended Cain Velasquez, the rival of Junior Dos Santos. Beat Curtis Blades for a second time before that. Now, these are world-class guys. We're talking about former champions. We're talking about studs like Curtis Blades. A loss to Lewis, but a really weird fight. A loss to Stipe. A win over Overeem. You guys remember that highlight reel knockout, that uppercut. Here we go, guys. Round 1. Rozenstruik and Ngannou. Let's go. Oh, Francis just winging it and it lands to the left and it's done. It's done already. Oh my God, what did I just say? What did I just say? 1 round Francis. Jairzinho's out. Jairzinho is out. Holy shit. I don't know what I'm looking for, guys. Holy shit! Francis is just waiting, probably to shake the hand of his opponent. But that man has to wake up. They're about to replay the whole fight. Rosenstruck lands the leg kick. Francis pawing, eats another leg kick. And then Francis just, whoom, starts just winging it. Francis just starts winging it. Look, he missed that right, missed the left, missed another right, and then bam, lands the left and it's over. All those other shots were on a sleeping opponent. Of course, not anything dirty. You fight until the ref pulls you off. But look, right hand misses. He eats a left. Left hand misses. Jairzinho, great head movement. And then bam. Out of 5 hits, 1 landed. And that was enough to put that man asleep. Yikes, guys. You're going to tell that man he doesn't deserve a title shot? Who else does he have to sleep? They're walking Jairzinho out. I mean, that was a bad knockout. Yikes. Platinum Mike Perry. Just give that man the belt. You got to beat the champ to beat a champ. You understand? But give him a title shot. Who needs polished technique when you have the power of Francis Ngannou? Holy shot indeed. But he could be somewhere else to get a lot more. Yeah, Jeremy Stevens, I know we're going back. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat. Jeremy Stevens definitely could go somewhere else and make more money. You're right about that. And I would prefer that. Let me turn this up. Listen to what Francis has to say.
When I heard he called me out, I knew that he didn't know what he's doing. You know, he's not ready for.
The messenger Jairzinho called Francis out. Francis said he didn't know what he was doing.
To take a step back and then get ready before fight against him. Well, the power that you display, my friend. Let's take a look at it real quick. You blitzed him. He just came forward.
Look at that. Right hand misses. Left hand misses. Right hand misses. Wham. There was nowhere else for Jairzinho to go except to sleep.
Yeah, you know, me and my buddy, my coach right here, we've been working for 15 weeks, and Dewey Cooper and Michael. So we've been working hard on striking, combo, how to dodge, everything, how to set up, and then that's what I walked in here with it. Like I had exactly the setup, and obviously he didn't get caught on that setup.
Second place for most UFC knockouts since 2015. Right ahead of Derek Lewis, behind Thiago Santos.
And you put all these hashtags, uncrowned champ. You're in this position where the UFC's heavyweight division is on hold. How frustrating is that for you, and where do you feel you fit in the division? You know, that's very frustrating. Where I feel like I fit, I don't know. I was expecting this fight to be my for the title. I mean, after DGS, I expect to fight for the title, but it didn't happen. Then we asked the UFC for the interim title fight on this fight, and they didn't make it. And to be honest, I don't know exactly where the division is at right now. So I'm just here.
Joe Rogan asking, where do you see yourself in the division? He's like, I don't know. Just like we talked about. What do you do with him?
It's hard to deny you any longer. I'm sure everyone's going to want to see you fight for the title next. Spectacular performance. Thank you very much, sir, and congratulations. Thank you very much, Joe. And thank you for all my friends around the world. Thank you for all the support. I received your message, guy. Without you, I wouldn't be here. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Francis Ngannou, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you get the sense that
Oh.
face might swell a little bit tonight, Daniel Cormier, but it's
I mean, shit, if you're Stipe watching that, do you want to give that man a rematch? I don't. Jeez. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a goddamn finish for Francis Ngannou. No problem, my man. Real Madrid, welcome, bro. Always happy to have you. You're not late, you always on time. I miss Buffer's voice as well, my friend. I missed it as well. And what the fuck, indeed. Whew! That finish from Francis Ngannou. He threw about 5 punches. One landed. That's all it took. Is one punch landing. That is scary stuff, people. Jeez. That is frightening stuff. I doubt that's going to have Stipe coming back any sooner. Not saying Stipe is afraid to fight anybody, but come on, man. Come on. I hope Dominic Cruz and Cejudo warmed up sufficiently. I doubt they knew that fight was going to last 10 seconds. Francis is the baddest man on the planet. Brother, I'm not going to argue with you. On the off chance that Francis will hear this, yes, he is. Oh, man. No one should be that size with that kind of power. That kind of power and that kind of speed. Did you see how those punches were just winging? And what was crazy is he ate a punch during that combination that he was doing. He just kept doing and kept going forward. Jairzinho had no choice. Zero choice, guys. Zero choice. Jairzinho Rozenstruik is not a wrestler, not a grappler. He had no choice but to back up. What he could have done, I should say, is circle better. Circle outside. But, I mean, you can't even say to the weak hand because Francis dropped him with the left. Not the right. Not the power hand. So, yeah, he could have circled out, but, I mean, there was nothing in my opinion, that was going to stop Francis from landing that shot eventually. It was just a mismatch. 100% a mismatch. Jeez. That is horrific, guys. Goddamn horrific. Give me 2 seconds, guys. We just dug into the rankings of the heavyweight division. And, I mean, this just solidified it even more. We were talking about in what ifs. What if Francis gets this win? Francis was taking that win, and he did. What do you, literally, what do you do if you're Francis Ngannou, right? And this isn't an easy question to answer, guys, so feel free to give your input, right? You have Stipe as the champion. You have Daniel Cormier as the number 1 ranked heavyweight in the world. And usually when fighters lose their belt, I don't always agree that they should still be ranked number 1. But DC being one of the most accomplished fighters in combat sports history, DC being one of the most talented fighters in UFC history, in my opinion. I have him in my top 5 of all time. Feel free to disagree. And the fact that he knocked out Stipe cold in 1 round, the first fight. The fact that he was on route to a victory if he didn't get, if he didn't fall in love with striking, I think he would have won that second fight. But, coulda, shoulda, woulda. It was a close fight. It wasn't just a close fight. It was a fight DC was winning and then he lost. I think DC deserves a rematch. At the same time, DC said he's retiring after that rematch, win or lose. Do you chance DC getting that rematch winning against Stipe, and then vacating that title. So he just took out Stipe in the trilogy, proving that he's the better fighter. Stipe being the most accomplished per title defenses heavyweight ever to grace the UFC octagon, but you just made him the inferior fighter if DC gets that, makes it 2-1. And then you leave a division with no belt and no champion. Of course, as you see, we can have Francis fight a paper bag and everyone will love it and he'll get the belt and be the new champion and the world will go on. But is that what Dana White wants? I feel like Dana White wants Francis Ngannou, even though they've butted heads in the past, if he is to be champion, he wants Francis Ngannou to fight Stipe and win that belt from him. To be the linear champion. To be the official champion. To be the undisputed champion. For there to be no controversy on that belt. It's not good to have champions when there's controversy with the belt. We've seen that before in the middleweight division. You saw what happened when Bisping won the championship from Luke Rockhold, right? And then goes ahead and fights a Dan Henderson. Didn't make any sense. And then went and gone to fight GSP. He fights GSP, loses. Vicious knockout. And I believe the second round, if I remember correctly. If it's not the second, then the third. And then GSP vacates the belt. It left the middleweight division, one with a bunch of contenders that never got their shot, like Jacare. Jacare, if you guys remember, was one of the most interesting title contenders in any of the weight classes back then. It was Jacare and Yoel. Yoel won controversially. He won that fight against Jacare, and he wound up getting a title shot. But Jacare then went on to get some wins and never got that title shot that he deserved. Yoel at that time deserved the title shot as well. Never got that. Eventually got, title shot against Robert Whittaker. And then Israel Adesanya. But it's just a weird spot to put divisions in when you're talking about people retiring, when you're talking about people not defending it. It's not fair to Francis, but again, is it fair to DC? Like, what is he supposed to do? If he does have another fight left, who else would he fight other than Stipe? If you make an interim title fight, what do you do? DC versus Francis? I don't see DC taking that fight. I don't think that interests DC. An interim title fight against anybody, especially someone as dangerous as Francis Ngannou. To be honest with you, I favor DC in that fight. You saw what he did to Derek Lewis. I think he'll do something similar to Francis. But Derek Lewis is not the athlete Francis is. Francis definitely could clip DC by just using his athleticism, his speed, and his power. I say all that to say, guys, there is no right or wrong answer. I have no idea what the hell they're going to do with Francis. I have no idea what they're going to do to DC. And I have no idea what Stipe is going to choose to do because really the ball's in his court. When are you coming back? Who are you fighting? Will you win? We'll find out eventually. The question's when. I'm thinking this summer, you either book DC and Stipe for August, or you make an interim fighter title fight, Francis versus whoever the fuck else is going to step up. That's the answer in my opinion. And if you do Stipe, DC in August, then you got to get Francis back around November. Can you imagine Francis Ngannou versus the winner of DC Stipe in MSG? I can and I'm loving it. I got Cejudo for this next bout. I do too, brother. I do too. Dominic Cruz is a monster. Dominic Cruz is great. But I think the sport has passed Dominic Cruz, at least at the championship level. I feel like Dominic Cruz has figured out. Which is not like Dominic Cruz has, gone on some crazy losing streak. He hasn't. He lost to Cody Garbrandt. Have we seen him since then? But the fighting style that Dominic Cruz has, I don't see that He has shifty footwork, but Cejudo is powerful. He has great stamina, and he has Olympic level, literally being an Olympic gold medalist, Olympic level wrestling. Dominic Cruz is coming off of injury after injury after injury, and before that, he was coming off injury after injury after injury. You guys remember the title reign of Renan Barão. The only reason Barão was champion is because Dominic Cruz was out. Then he came back, won the belt against TJ Dillashaw in a very, 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 very close fight. And then lost to Cody Garbrandt. Got embarrassed against Cody Garbrandt, quite frankly. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we've seen him since. I'm going to go, just so I'm not talking out my ass and giving you guys false information. How embarrassing would that be? I'm going to go ahead and check Dominic Cruz's record. And let me fix this for you guys. I'll switch this for the next fight as well. The real important question, are you guys having as much fun as I am? Having a goddamn ball. This card has been ridiculous, man. This is a dream come true. I cannot believe that the return card after 2 months of fights has been this goddamn good from top to bottom. I mean, seriously, beyond the Carlos Esparza and Michelle Worson fight, has there been any boring fights? I mean, maybe not every fight was Nico Price versus Vicente Luque, but goddamn, these been some good fights. Come on. I'm saying come on like you guys are complaining. I know you guys agree with me. You have to. There's no other opinion to be had. I'm liking this music Dominic Cruz coming out to, though. Hey. Yeah. Yeah. Those are my dance moves right there. Just a head bop and a two-step. That'll carry you a long way, guys. Okay. So Cejudo got to come out the walkout music too. I like it. I actually really like this song. Not gonna lie to you. When this song came out, I was blasting this shit every day. Not gonna lie to you. Woo! Do you guys feel the energy tonight? I know you feel it. Come on. Yeah, man. Yeah. Guys, I'm sitting here, I'm like, I have to be mistaken. Dominic Cruz's last fight was against Cody Garbrandt. A fight in which he lost his belt. That was in 2016, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2020. Before that, he beat Faber. Faber was way past his prime. Faber probably shouldn't have gotten that title shot. We know that. But they had a big rivalry, you know, back and forth with the lead up. Faber, honestly, I think wanted that fight just to get a big paycheck, an opportunity, and to put over his team, Alpha Male, which he did. You saw Cody Garbrandt then got a title shot. Before that, he beat TJ Dillashaw, which is impressive. TJ Dillashaw is a cheater. Let's call it what it is. He is a cheater. He's an admitted cheater, so that's not allegedly. He's an admitted cheater. I don't know how long he was cheating for. You could say, oh, yeah, but he said, you don't believe a cheater when he says how long he's been cheating. That's not to say he was lying, but we have no fucking clue how long TJ Dillashaw was using EPO. But he beat TJ Dillashaw, which was impressive. Before that, Mizugaki, not in the UFC anymore. And that was in 2014. And before that, 2011 against DJ. But DJ was way outsized and wound up going down to flyweight, and you saw how that went. He became one of the greatest of all time. Guy is just so inconsistent. In 2011, he fought twice. Then he's out for 3 years. Fights in 2014. Looks good against Mizugaki. Then he's out till 2016. Comes back, looks good again. Beats TJ Dillashaw. Beats Faber. So that's 2 fights in 2016. 3 fights in 2016. That lost to Cody Garbrandt and then doesn't fight since. So when he comes back from injury, surprisingly, like he's out for like 3 years at a time, which is sad. You know, really sad. That means most of his prime was all killed by injury. That's really depressing. Since 2011, you were able to fight 6 times. Guys, that's 9 fucking years. But, I mean, I don't know. Cejudo is a fantastic fucking athlete. He's proven it. I did not think Henry Cejudo was going to beat Marlon Moraes. He finished him. I did not think Henry Cejudo was going to beat TJ Dillashaw. He finished him. I did not think Cejudo was going to beat Demetrius Johnson. He did. He beat Sergio Pettis. Beat Reyes. His last loss is in 2016, which is the last goddamn time Cruz has fought, and that was against Benavidez. In a very close decision. Oh yeah, you were right. You were right, man. Sean, you're right. Yoel did get that title shot, and he missed against Luke Rockhold. That's my bad. That's my bad. If you want my job, brother, it's open. You are absolutely correct, though. And here we go. Here we go. There was a glitch that happened on my computer, so if you guys are still there, please let me know. Apologies for any issue with the stream. No idea what just happened there. Both guys with those ankle wraps. Interesting. I'm pretty sure Cejudo had those his last fight as well. And you know the foot problems that Dominic Cruz has had. He got Botox injections on the bottom of his feet to try to numb the pain. Oh, leg kick from Cejudo. but then falls. Dominic Cruz, clearly the longer fighter. And now I said I agree that I had Cejudo, but that doesn't mean that Dominic Cruz is not a puzzle to solve. A hard one to solve. His footwork is quirky. He does move a lot. He does take really crazy angles. Oh, nice single leg takedown from Cejudo. Nice slam. Landed some pretty nice strikes. Nice scramble from Dominic Cruz, who's no slouch in the grappling department himself. Oh, nice leg kick. Dominic has to be careful about those leg kicks. Both knees have had surgeries. He's had foot issues. I mean, Henry's smart to attack the legs.
'Cause
I'm sorry about that, guys. Just on the phone, making sure that the stream was still up and active. If someone can confirm that you guys are still able to hear and see me, I would appreciate it. Thank you. 10 seconds left in the first round. Both men are very active. What is happening? They don't know what corner to go to? What the hell? Dominic Cruz happy to be back. All smiles. That was a good round for Cejudo. His coach saying, get mean. Here we go. Round two. Dominic Cruz moves so much. It is such a crazy pace to keep. Nice body shot for Dominic. You see he landed that body shot, but he didn't stay center. He landed it and was already circling to the outside. It's crazy movement from Dominic Cruz. It's got to be hard to train for it. Got to be really, really difficult to train for that. Oh, another leg kick from Cejudo. Body kick from Cejudo. Nice leg kick from Cruz. Looks like Brett Akamoto agrees with me. 10-9 Cejudo. Not that I think that's controversial. I think that was pretty clear. Cejudo definitely the aggressor. Moving forward. Another leg kick from Cejudo. Oh, nice left hand from Cejudo. Right hand from Cejudo. Oh, that head kick. Just missed. Dominic Cruz threw some nice punches, but missed. Oh, nice combination. Right to the body, left to the head from Cejudo. That lead check hook is my favorite strike in combat sports, guys. Boxing, kickboxing, MMA. My favorite strike by far. You saw Sam Alvey. Even though he's southpaw, he throws it with the right, but was throwing a beautiful, beautiful lead hook. It's just the range fucks with you. If anybody's even kind of hit a punching bag before, throw that lead hook, and it just has good range. You can step into it, and it has good power because it is a hook. It is a power punch. Might not be as powerful as a 4, but you can land a 3 much more consistently. And you don't have to set it up as much as you do the 4. The 4 being the dominant hook. Cruz is moving a lot, but he needs to get in there to fight, and he's not able. I think his plan was to get in and out, but Cejudo's on him. He can't get out to a range to where he can quickly get back in to cause damage. He's always on the back foot or trying to circle out. He doesn't have enough time to back out, reset, come back, throw some damage, back out. Cejudo's smothering him. So Cruz has 2 choices: keep moving on his bicycle, which got to be tiring. You're returning after 3.5-year layoff, or get hit or take it down. Those are the choices that Cejudo is leaving for Cruz. I was talking about the puzzle that is Dominic Cruz that Cejudo has to solve. Looks like Cejudo's game plan is rock solid. Which you saw Cody Garbrandt, his combat to Cruz's footwork was to kind of mimic it, but to make little alterations. I mean, it's surprising you don't see headbutts every single round of a Dominic Cruz fight. The way he moves his head and moves his body, it's just literally all over the place. You know, he's not doing it on purpose, but the reality is he's swinging his head all over, man. Headbutts to be expected. They're not going to wipe that cut. The cut was caused by a headbutt. I'm really surprised that they didn't wipe that. That's weird. What's going on, Gladiator? Welcome, my man. Oh! Oh! This might be it! This might be it. He's ended it. It's over. It's over. It's over. Dominic Cruz saying it was an early stoppage, but the fight is over. The fight is over, guys. That's got to be disheartening. But he was eating shots, man. Yeah, he was trying to defend himself, but I don't know. I'm not as disappointed about that as Joe Rogan seems to be. So that knee landed. He goes down. You see, then he eats that right hand, and then it's just left hand, left hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a good stoppage. Look, if they would have let the fight keep going, cool. But that's not a bad stoppage. That's not a bad stoppage at all. Look at that. Look. Yeah, look. Look. Yeah. I'm 100% okay with them ending it like that. Wow. Dominic Cruz not happy, but I am 2,000% okay with that stoppage. As always, guys, I'm going to turn it up so that we can hear from the winner. Israel Adesanya thinks they should have let it keep going, but I'm okay with this. He said no. All right, let's listen. Joe Rogan asking what the strategy was. All right, they're replaying the knockout here. What a TKO. So Dom misses that uppercut and boom, knee right to the jaw. Yeah, look at his face, man. And then that right hand right behind the ear. And just look at that, man. You can't just let Dominic Cruz keep getting punched in the side of his head like that unanswered. That's a fine stoppage. That's a fine stoppage, guys. What? Did Henry Cejudo just retire? Did Henry Cejudo just retire? What the fuck just happened? What the fuck just happened? I don't understand. Cruz, of course, not happy. Said he was starting to stand up. Dominic Cruz saying he was working his way up and they should not have stopped the fight. Of course, Dominic Cruz, a logical guy, trying to use logic to say, why he should not have been stopped, but it is what it is at this point. Now Joe Rogan asking him about his future. Of course, he said he's not sure. First time Dominic Cruz ever knocked out. Dominic Cruz, definitely one of the greats. One of the legends. Guys, give me 2 seconds. Be right back. Guys, I don't understand. I don't. So Hudo just retired at 33. On top of the sport. Henry Cejudo is a two-weight champion. So essentially, which I don't even know if he's goddamn serious because Henry Cejudo. But we now have two divisions without a champion. I'm sorry. Henry Cejudo did vacate the flyweight championship. There is no champion because Fajeda and Benavidez fought. And Fajeda missed weight and wound up winning. But let's get back to the fact that Henry Cejudo, Triple C, the bantamweight champion, just, according to him, just vacated the title. That surprised the shit out of me. Not speechless a lot, guys. Let's look at bantamweight, which you guys just heard me saying is at the very least one of the top 4 premier divisions in the sport. I actually have it at number 3. Lightweight, welterweight, 135 in that order, but they're this far apart as it goes about talent in the top 15. Now, let's go to top 15. We're going to start at 15. Raoni Barsalis, Marlon Vera, Song Yadong, John Dobson, Cody Stanman are your number 11 through 15. All those guys, very impressive. When you get in the top 10, it gets even better. Rob Font, who's looked fantastic. Cody Garbrandt, former champion. Fallen all tough times, but is still tough as nails. Jimmy Rivera, Pedro Munoz, who's a monster. Jose Aldo, who looks fantastic versus Marlon Moraes, who I actually have winning, who I had winning against Marlon Moraes, who's the number 1 ranked bantamweight right now. Rafael Sunsao, who has a meeting with Cody Garbrandt coming up. Corey Sandhagen, Peter Yan, Aljamain Sterling, Marlon Moraes. When you get to those top 4 guys, all those guys are championship level. Don't forget Frankie Edgar's coming down to this division as well. Marlon Moraes' last fight was against Jose Aldo, a fight in which he won on paper, but I had him losing. But he is the number 1 contender, and his last fight was a win. Marlon Moraes is a monster. Aljamain Sterling deserves a title shot. Peter Yan deserves a title shot. Corey Sandhagen deserves a title shot. I don't think the UFC is willing to get very creative when it comes to like tournaments. If this is Bellator, it'd be simple. You do a 4-man tournament. Marlon Moraes, Aljamain Sterling, Peter Yan, Corey Sandhagen. Simple as that. The UFC, they have some choices to make, man. I know that caught Dana off guard. He looked cool as a cucumber, but that had to surprise the shit out of him. I think they gave him the Cruz fight because Cruz was a name. They wanted to take care of Cruz because he's one of their guys. I think they did think Cejudo could win, but I thought they thought Cejudo would win and then continue this title reign. I have no idea what they do now with this title. Make sure you guys follow my YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch or Facebook, follow my YouTube at Mike Jesse MMA. I will be talking about this in the upcoming days. I'm going to dig and figure out exactly what's next for the top 4 to 5 guys in 135, what they have lined up, if anything. And let's try to make sense of what the hell happens next to crown a champion for, again, one of the top 3 divisions in the UFC, in my opinion. Wow, man. Wow. What a win for Henry Cejudo. What a career for Henry Cejudo if he is, in fact, calling it a wraps. Because that man has been goddamn impressive. As of late, especially. Yikes. Next, last, but certainly not least, we have the main event. Tony Ferguson versus Justin Geikie. 2 of the most violent men in the division. I'm sorry, scratch that. The 2 most violent 155-pounders on the planet are meeting in the middle of the octagon within minutes to fight for the 155-pound championship. Are you ready to see this showcase of violence that is about to go down? It's UFC 249, baby. We back. Walkout music has been fire tonight. Justin Gaethje first signed up to take this fight short notice in April. Justin Gaethje, of course, trains under the famous, well-known, well-respected coach Trevor Whitman. Trevor Whitman famously is against short notice fights, and all his fighters are as well, including Rose Namajunas, etc., etc., etc. Justin Gaethje was already working with his teammates for some fights that they had, so he was already in shape, he said. So it was just really the weight cut, and of course he wasn't going to be in fight shape, but he was ready. He said he'd be at like 95%, most likely he was going to be closer to 80%. But he was ready. He always said he doesn't want to do short notice fights, but he was ready for this one. Now with an extra 4 or 5 weeks, well, an extra 4 weeks to get ready for it, he may not be in the best shape that we've ever seen him. But he made the weight. And I believe Justin Gaethje is ready. Justin Gaethje is a goddamn animal. Justin Gaethje is a college D1 level wrestler. And I'm not sure if that man has gone for a takedown in his UFC career. That is by choice. That is because that man prefers violence. That's because he believes that he has a pace that he will put on you that you will succumb to. He does have skill. He does have technique. He does have talent. But that is not his most important attribute. His most important attribute is there's a sandwich in the room. He intends to leave with it. And that's sandwich with 2 M's, not sandwich. Justin Gaethje eats sandwiches. Justin Gaethje has no quit. Yes, he's lost before. Yes, he's been finished before. Justin Gaethje has no quit in him. You either hit his off button or he'll hit yours. If he doesn't hit your off button, he will make you wish that he did. Because you will have leg kick after leg kick, hook after hook, uppercut after uppercut coming at you and landing with ill intentions. And on the other side, we have Tony Ferguson. I'm sorry. Tony Ferguson's walking out, guys. I'm going to show my respect. To the Tony Ferguson. I wish I had the baseball ready. What the fuck is up with that baseball that Tony Ferguson has going on? Tony Ferguson, the man with the shades, whether it's nighttime, daytime, inside, outside, one of the most unorthodox fighters in the UFC, one of the most interesting men in the UFC, one of the best interviews in the UFC, Tony the Enigma Ferguson, a.k.a. the Boogeyman, a.k.a. your worst fucking nightmare if you do not come with your A game, if you do not come with your soul ready to go to the depths of hell, baby. Tony Ferguson has some of the most vicious elbows. Tony Ferguson has some of the best grappling exchanges. Tony Ferguson has a gas tank off the charts. You see, there's E, there's F, and then there's Tony Ferguson. You understand what I'm saying to you? That man's always filled on premium. Tony Ferguson, another man who doesn't know how to say quit, who doesn't know how to say no mas, who would probably go to jail for homicide if someone decided to throw in the towel for his fight. We've seen Tony Ferguson hurt plenty of times, which is why I picked against him plenty of times. We've seen Tony Ferguson get clipped plenty of times. I've been in the middle of fights watching Tony Ferguson and be like, stop the fight. He can't take anymore. It's over. It's done. No more. Only for Tony Ferguson to come back and tell me to stay in my place, son. And to watch him work. Tony Ferguson's here to bloody you up. Tony Ferguson's here to hurt you. Tony Ferguson's here to cause pain. This shit isn't just about a paycheck. It's not just about the respect. It's about letting everybody know that he's the best. And to him, he can't fucking believe you don't know it yet. Tony Ferguson 5'11", Justin Geikie the same. Both weighed in 155. Tony Ferguson the longer man by 6.5 inch reach advantage. He's such a rangy fighter. I'm talking to somebody and I'm like, oh yeah, Tony Ferguson, he's at least 6'1". I go look at my phone, 5'11". But that reach and the way he fights, the unorthodox manner that he fights, strikes come from everywhere. Inside, you'll see a bunch of elbows. You think you have an advantageous position by being on top, but then you eat those elbows from Tony Ferguson nonstop, and then you're leaking, and you realize that I was never safe. The second the octagon closed, I was never safe because Tony Ferguson was on the other side of the octagon. Ask Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee looked good early on against Tony Ferguson. He took Tony Ferguson down, and it wasn't that hard. But when he took him down, he thought that was enough. He thought, I'm in a dominant position now. Now it's time for me to do my... Cut open. Bloody. Hurt. Battered. Fatigued. Tony Ferguson is looking to hurt you any way he can. Kevin Lee had staph, you remember, on his chest, the size of his pectoral muscle. That would gross me the hell out. No way I'm fighting someone with staph, the size of their pectoral muscle popping out. What did Tony Ferguson do? He punched it. He made a conscious decision to aim for that staph because he thought to himself, no way that's going to feel good. Do you understand who Tony Ferguson is now, ladies and gentlemen? Are you ready for this main event for UFC 249, ladies and gentlemen? I am. Let's go, baby. If you're wondering, I have Tony Ferguson for the W. Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Justin Geikie fan. I'll pick against Tony Ferguson when I see him actually lose. This Tony Ferguson. So like a 13 fight win streak? It's gotta be close, something like that. We're ready, ladies and gentlemen. El Kukui in the building. 26-3, Tony Ferguson. Look at that. Cowboy Cerrone. Anthony Pettis. Kevin Lee. Rafael Dos Anjos. Venata. Barboza. Josh Thompson. Gleason Tebow. Trujillo. Castillo, Kakuno, Rio. We're going back to 2013, ladies and gentlemen. Still no losses. His last loss was to Michael Johnson in 2012. Come on. Eve Edwards before that beat him. Come on. Here we go. Oh, nice body kick from Tony Ferguson. Switching stances. So awkward Tony Ferguson is. So comfortable in there. Superman punch followed by a cross. Nice body shot. Oh! Left hook from Geikie. Left kick just missed. Left hook just misses, I should say, for Geikie. Ooh. Both men just landed nice left hands. Oh, right hand lands for Geikie, but he eats a vicious leg kick. Oh, nice left hand from Geikie. Keeps landing it. Told you guys, that is my favorite punch. My favorite strike, really. As Tony Ferguson punches the leg of Justin Geikie. Geikie just missed that left hook. Nice leg kick followed by a left hook again from Geikie. Tony Ferguson's got to be careful. Oh! Left high kick followed by a jab from Tony Ferguson. Teep kick from Tony Ferguson. Oh, nice kick to the body from Ferguson. Those really add up. Another leg kick from Geikie. Both men are just pure violence, guys. They're not looking for the one-hit knockout, but they can deliver it. Leg kick from Geikie. Nice jab from Ferguson. Oh! Combination from Justin Geikie. Another left hook. Ooh, right hand from Geikie. Both men landing. Killer shots. That left hook definitely part of the game plan for Geikie. What a round. Definitely gives that to Geikie. It looks like Tony Ferguson ate a eye poke, unfortunately. Tony Ferguson moves that stool to get that shit out of here. Justin Geikie breathing pretty hard for after one round. We know he has a lot of stamina, but as we talked about, he did not have a full fight camp. And at the pace he has, man, it's hard not to have a full fight camp. Ooh. Oh, oh, Geikie is winging those punches, man. I feel like he wants to get Tony out early to avoid having to test the stamina of a short fight camp against someone with the stamina of Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson, of course, made weight for the fight card that never happened in April just because he's Tony Ferguson. John Jones, geez, these boys are hitting hard. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Oh, left hand again from Tony Ferguson. Right hand from Justin. Justin's definitely getting the better of these exchanges so far. Tony Ferguson may want to look for a takedown. Another leg kick from Justin. Oh, nice jab from Tony. Nice right hand from Justin. Left hand as well. Nice combination from Tony. Nice parries from Tony. Just let those punches go. Let Justin use all that energy with no payoff. Nice body shot from Justin, followed by a leg kick. Ugh. Nice left hand from Justin. Nice leg kick from Tony. Oh. Oh. Tony Ferguson is a goddamn animal. He is eating some really, really bad hooks, man. Tried to hit Justin with the spinning elbow. Justin was able to eat up that space to not allow Tony to get it. Nice leg kick from Tony. Another leg kick from Tony. Let's see if he picks it up here towards the end of the round. Tony swings but misses and gets hit by a really nasty leg kick from from Justin. Again, guys, we are here live for UFC 249, the main event, Justin Geikie versus Tony Ferguson. No matter what platform you're here joining me, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, I appreciate the support. Be sure to subscribe, give my videos a thumbs up, etc., etc. We're here for every major combat sports event. We will be back Wednesday for that UFC fight card. I want to say that's Toshera versus Anthony Smith. Make sure you guys join me for that. And then we'll be back again next Saturday for, what is it? That Walt Harris card. Oh! Geikie just got dropped towards the end of the round from Tony. Tony Ferguson, always dangerous. Trevor Witness said, take 10% off those shots. You're trying to kill him. Saying don't blow your load. Yeah, Smith versus Teixeira is the next card. And then, yeah, Walt Harris versus Overeem is the Saturday card. So, guys, Wednesday. Oh, that uppercut from Tony Ferguson almost ended him. Like I said, guys, both these guys, so fucking dangerous all the time. Anthony Smith versus Teixeira, Wednesday, May 13th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Saturday, May 16th, Overeem versus Walt Harris, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check me out. Oh, nice right hand from Justin. Oh, nice body shot followed by a left hook from Justin. I wonder if Justin was able to shake those cobwebs, though. That uppercut really rocked him. He's lucky that was the end of the round. They put a tweet from Stephen A. in which he spelt Gaethje's name Garth. Stephen A. just can't win in MMA, man. Nice left hand from Justin. I just realized Ben Askren, I believe, changed his name on Twitter. Not his tag, but changed his name on there to Fight Island. Oh, Ben Askren's a character. We are going to miss him. What is going on with my stream? Not right now. Give me 2 seconds, guys. God damn it. I'm really sorry, guys. The stream that I've been watching this whole goddamn time has just gone down. Give me 2 seconds. Tony Ferguson with the cut over his eye. Oh! What a weird ass leg kick that was from Tony Ferguson. Justin just misses that elbow. Oh, nice head kick from Justin. These guys are hitting each other with some crazy strikes. Jeez. Another exciting round. Talking to Justin, say he might have to do some unconventional takedowns. I don't think they want to see him keep participating in this exchange on the feet with Justin Geikie. I guess it's just us, man. People keep popping in and out, but I also have some people on Twitch and Facebook as well. We out here. As always, appreciate the support. Give me 2 seconds, guys, as I'm getting my stream back together. Appreciate you stopping by, brother. Again, guys, apologies. My feed was working fine. Now it's having some issues. Alright, guys, I'm going to have to call that a wrap. I apologize. It was fun. I was glad to be back. I will be back on Wednesday. I will solve this issue. Not sure why the last fight, the last 2 rounds, I'm having issues with, but it is what it is. Thank you guys for your support. As always, don't forget to follow me at Mike Jesse MMA on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. See you guys on Wednesday.